Gordon Ramsay is known for being a celebrity chef with a very bad temper. You can usually spot him screaming at the participants of shows like Hell's Kitchen, MasterChef, and Kitchen Nightmares. So when he started replying with witty remarks to the pictures of meals that fans sent to him via Twitter, we couldn't help but crack up. Make sure to keep watching until the end to see why Chef Ramsay once told a Twitter user that they should take a trip to the optometrist. Before we jump into it, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more celebrity videos. Now, here's 10 times Gordon Ramsay roasted people on social media. Biology lesson. When @SchwipSalt sent Gordon Ramsay a picture of his supper through Twitter, we don't think that he ever imagined that he would get a reply back. His dinner consisted of a sad-looking plate of a fried rodent-type animal and 2 lonely potatoes. The Twitter user asked Chef Ramsay to rate his dinner out of 10, to which Ramsay replied, "Are you in a biology lesson?" While Gordon Ramsay is known for being a hard critic to please, we wholeheartedly agree with his comment on this disaster meal. The fact that this Twitter user had an entire animal body on his plate made us a bit nauseated. We even have the feeling that this user was just using this vile image to troll Ramsay and elicit a response. @SchwipSalt's Twitter account has even been suspended, which solidifies our theory that he's probably just a troll. But Chef Ramsay's response to this sad excuse of a dinner was still gold. It does look like the rodent is spread out on the plate in exactly the same position that a rat would be placed in for a biology dissection. We're not really sure why anyone would want to eat something that looked like it was literally caught and then dropped straight into the deep fryer. Presentation is everything when it comes to food, and this plate was seriously lacking in that department. Hey guys, we are so excited to announce we are producing our own original content. Head over to The Trendy for the best DIYs, fashion tips, makeup hacks, and so much more. We are sure you're going to love it, and be sure to let us know what you think in the comment section. We love to hear from you. See you there. I feel sick. @J_Kilburn is a chap from England who thought that his cooking skills were worthy of Gordon Ramsay's praise. But like many other home cook hopefuls, @J_Kilburn thought wrong. The supper that he tweeted out was a weird mishmash of canned baked beans, frozen fish sticks, and crinkle-cut fries. We were obviously just joking when we said that this Twitter user thought that this meal was a good one. @J_Kilburn clearly made this post to get a reaction out of Chef Ramsay. When he asked Ramsay what he thought of the meal, Ramsay replied, "I feel sick." We don't understand why anyone would think that it would be a good idea to mix 3 pre-packaged foods together. Eating this meal frequently seems like a heart attack waiting to happen. We understand that not everyone can afford filet mignon and lobster, but we still think that there are better things you can buy on a budget than frozen food. Chef Ramsay must have felt sick looking at this meal because he was thinking about all the gross additives and preservatives that were put into it. We are not even sure that it even qualifies as real food anymore, but we will admit that @J_Kilburn does win the Creativity Award for this meal. With a little bit of tweaking, we think that it could actually be turned into something delicious. Hula hoops. Twitter user @Fiduda once sent Ramsay a picture of a meal that she ordered at a restaurant. She captioned it, "@Gordon Ramsay, what do you think of the mac and cheese I had tonight at the restaurant?" We're not sure what kind of mac and cheese she ordered, but her meal looks nothing like the mac and cheese that we're used to eating. It actually looks like it would be a very fancy mac and cheese dish if it weren't for one thing. For some odd reason, there's barbecue-flavored ringolos sprinkled all over the dish. Chef Ramsay was just as confused as we were and replied to the picture with "Hula hoops, WTF." While it may sound like he's just making fun of the round shape of the barbecue chips, ringolos are actually called hula hoops in the UK. We don't know of any restaurant that would serve ringolos to their guests, and Ramsay was probably shocked that this particular chef thought that adding them in was a good idea. And while we agree that it's a weird choice, we can't help but want to try it out for ourselves the next time that we make some Kraft mac and cheese. At least no one can judge us for what we eat alone at home. Restaurants obviously have higher standards that need to be adhered to, and ringolos should never have been added to this meal. Modernart. Chef Ramsay had a hilarious response to a Twitter user who was genuinely confused about the way that her food was plated at a restaurant. Needing some clarification, @TaraJLee asked Ramsay if he could give his opinion on whether her food was meant to be eaten or if it was meant to be on display at the Tate Modern in London. We get that chefs like to be creative when it comes to their food display, but the plating of this meal really went too far. @TaraJLee wasn't exaggerating when she said that it looked like it could be a piece of modern contemporary art, but Ramsay Ramsay himself had the best response to this Twitter user's call for help. He replied with, "Looks like he missed the toilet." We're sure that the chef who put together this plate would be super embarrassed if he knew that he was dissed publicly by Gordon Ramsay. Food is actually only put together like this at restaurants that are fancy and very expensive. We can only assume that this fancy pants chef thought that he was doing a pretty good job when he served this, but we're not even sure what this meal is supposed to be. Like Ramsay remarked, it just looks like food items that have already gone through the digestive tract. We feel bad for Tara Jade Lead though, because she probably spent $20 for this sad excuse of an appetizer. Mixed grill. When you think of a mixed grill meal, juicy cuts of meat and succulent shrimp skewers usually come to mind. Add in lots of yummy grilled vegetables, and this type of meal is a barbecue fan's ultimate dream come true. We all know how passionate Chef Ramsay is about food, and that's why he was super disappointed when @AdamRHill1 sent him a picture of the mixed grilled meat that his girlfriend had put together for supper. Ramsay's response to it was, "Mixed up, is she trying to kill you?" And we couldn't have agreed more. The plate was a weird mishmash of what looked like burnt breakfast sausages, grilled ham, and unappetizing veggies. While @AdamRHill1's girlfriend was clearly trying to impress him with this meal, the end result was nothing more than just a nice try. Why was ham even on his plate in the first place? Unless this meal was prepared during Christmas time, it seems like a completely random addition to the aesthetic of the overall meal. Also, eating that much fatty meat in one sitting is never a good idea, but at least they had half of their plate filled with mushy vegetables to balance it all out. What would you say if your partner made you this dish for supper? Would you be truly happy about it, or would your thoughts be more in line with Chef Ramsay's? Let us know in the comments below. Competition. Chef Ramsay wasn't too happy when a fan took to Twitter to brag about being a better chef than him. We're not sure how a home cook could even imagine that they're more skilled than someone who has decades of training and experience, but @McLeana13 seemed confident in his ability. He even told Ramsay that he literally followed him on Twitter just to show off how much better he is in the kitchen. However, the picture that he shared was of him making scrambled eggs, which is not a particularly hard dish to master. Ramsay was not going to let him get away with his little remark and had the perfect clapback for this sassy home cook. He said, "That's why your scrambled eggs look like a pan full of rubber bullets. We don't know about you, but we think that this is one of Ramsay's best social media burns ever. The eggs do look overcooked in the picture, and our favorite celebrity chef was quick to call @McLeana13 out on it. If you can't master the art of making perfect, fluffy scrambled eggs, you can't consider yourself to be a chef." We're also not sure why this Twitter user's eggs have a slight green tinge to them. Maybe he should take a cooking class or two before he decides to publicly challenge Gordon Ramsay again. Not vegetarian. We all know that Chef Ramsay is not a huge fan of vegetarians. During an episode of Kitchen Nightmares, he once tricked a vegetarian into eating a sample of vegetarian pizza that actually had Parma ham on it. When the vegetarian passerby complained, Chef Ramsay laughed at him and yelled out to the restaurant chef that they had succeeded in converting a vegetarian. While we don't condone this kind of behavior, it just goes to show how little respect this well-known chef has for people who don't eat meat. So when @HeyIt'sAlexisA asked him to judge the vegetarian sriracha taco that she had made for Valentine's Day, his response was not surprising. While the dish was well plated and looked completely edible, Ramsay just couldn't get over the fact that it was meat-free. He simply replied, "This is why I'm not a vegetarian." And while we get that some people are more carnivorous than others, we don't really understand why Ramsay didn't think that this taco looked delicious. We would be over the moon if someone made us any kind of taco for Valentine's Day. Plus, we need to acknowledge the fact that @HeyIt'sAlexisA creatively made the inside part look like a heart, which is definitely not an easy feat to pull off. But true fans of Ramsay should know by now that vegetarian meals are not his style. Idiot sandwich. If you've always thought that it was impossible for someone to mess up a sandwich, you thought wrong. The key to making a good sandwich is to use any variation of bread, sauce, deli meat, and veggies. When @JamesSmithJamal asked Chef Ramsay to rate his sandwich on a scale of 1 to 10, we think that he had truly believed that he made a good one. But instead of praising him for a job well done, Ramsay replied 1 out of 10. For the table mat, idiot sandwich. We've never used the word idiot to describe a sandwich before, but it's unsurprisingly one of Ramsay's favorite words. And while we do agree that the table mat looks hideous, this Twitter user's sandwich doesn't really look that bad. He should have just spent a bit more time on the presentation before he decided to send a picture of it to one of the most famous chefs in the world. The fact that he also can't close a sandwich without everything falling out probably made him lose some brownie points with the chef. But this is one of the few pictures of food sent to Ramsay that actually shows off something that is edible, so kudos to him for that. It's hard to get publicly shamed on social media, but @JamesSmithJamal wouldn't have posted the picture in the first place if he couldn't handle the heat. Customer service. Gordon Ramsay's social media roast proved that it's sometimes better to leave the cooking to the professionals. Thanks to the power of Instagram and Twitter, everyone is sharing pictures of their meals these days as if they're the chef of a 5-star restaurant. While there's nothing wrong with learning to cook, we need to all stop pretending that we're good enough to be on MasterChef. So when @Alex_Heap decided to share his skills with @Gordon Ramsay, Chef Ramsay just had to set him straight. @Alex_Heap asked Ramsay if he thought that his meal was good enough to merit 3 stars out of 5. Our beloved critic responded with, "You've got a great future in the industry as a customer." Now, we have to admit that this is one of the better dishes that we've seen out of all the ones that get sent to Chef Ramsay on a daily basis. Nothing is burnt, the user didn't mix weird food items together, and the meal actually looks edible. @Alex_Heap's plating skills were even fairly on point for this one. But the overall meal was not enough to impress the hard-to-please Ramsay. Thankfully for us mere mortals, being a customer at a restaurant is way easier than trying to be a world-class chef. Plus, is there anything better than going out to eat at a restaurant? We don't think so. Get some glasses. By now, Chef Ramsay is probably used to the fact that people don't take him too seriously on social media. Fans know that the only way to get him to respond is by sending him a photo of something that is utterly hopeless. So that was exactly at Flight Tyler's goal when he sent Ramsay a picture of a burnt sandwich and asked him if he was doing okay at the whole cooking thing. Ramsay obviously knew that the question wasn't legit, but responded anyway in his usual harsh fashion. His reply was, "Get some glasses, Tyler." And as mean as he was trying to be, maybe Chef Ramsay's critic helped to change Tyler's life. Maybe Tyler had been wandering around for years without glasses because he didn't know that he needed them. But one thing's for sure, when Ramsay tells you to do something, you do it without hesitation. We're almost certain that Tyler went running to the optometrist after he saw that reply to his picture. And we don't even know what's worse, the fact that he completely burnt his sandwich or the fact that we can't even tell what kind of sandwich it is. While Tyler's definitely not a food photographer in real life, he should have at least had the common sense to angle his shot a little bit more. Absolutely nothing looks good in a picture when it's taken from up top. That's all for 10 times Gordon Ramsay roasted people on social media. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to The Taco.